So anytime a government agency like the FCC proposes sweeping regulatory changes, they're supposed to propose these new rules, and then they will send that off to the public and allow them a couple of months to comment on these new changes. And this is exactly what the FCC did when it came to net neutrality. But even though it's clearly the case that this comment process has been compromised and there's a lot of fake comments that fraudulently used people's identities without their permission, Ajit Pai nonetheless is still pushing through this vote to repeal net neutrality as soon as he possibly can, which prompted a lot of people to call for a delay in this vote. Now, we all know that his quest to repeal net neutrality is contingent on his loyalty to his former employer, Verizon. And let me remind you that Verizon is literally the biggest spender when it comes to anti-net neutrality lobbying. And when Ajit Pai leaves the FCC, he'll most likely get his old job back with a huge hiring bonus. And we have good reason to believe that this is actually the case, since he's still shilling for them, and he literally just gave a keynote address at Verizon's headquarters in Washington, D.C., just 1 week before he's going to be voting to kill net neutrality. And if you're wondering what he said to them, well, you'll have to keep wondering, because that speech is secret. The transcript is not made public. So the reason why I'm telling you about all of this is to establish the fact that Ajit Pai is a shill for Verizon, his former employer. He's still clearly loyal to them, which is why he's trying to push this vote through as fast as he possibly can. But since he's rapidly taking the country and the internet in an entirely different direction so quickly, there's been a number of Democratic senators who called on him to pump the brakes. In fact, a number of consumer advocacy groups, along with the city of New York, actually sent him a letter essentially urging him to stop what he's doing and at least temporarily delay the vote. Now, I do support a delay in the vote, obviously, but the fact is that there should not be a vote, period, to repeal net neutrality, because the overwhelming majority of the American people don't want him to repeal net neutrality. So he should listen to us. Since he is an unelected bureaucrat, he shouldn't make sweeping decisions that the overwhelming majority of the population don't support. But he's going to do it anyway, and we have to remember this is a rogue FCC chairman who is pursuing this agenda specifically at the behest of internet service providers. But this is how he responded when he received that letter. This is a statement that his office issued, quote, "This is just evidence that supporters of heavy-handed internet regulations are becoming more desperate by the day as their effort to defeat Chairman Pai's plan to restore internet freedom has stalled. The vote will proceed as scheduled on December 14th. In other words, if you care about net neutrality and you're one of the people who thinks I should delay this vote, you can go fuck yourself, because I will be voting to kill net neutrality on December 14th, whether you like it or not." This is absolutely unbelievable. When I say that he's gone rogue, he has certainly gone rogue. He's made it clear that he does not represent the American people. He only represents the broadband industry. And this proves it. He's still giving speeches to Verizon. He's using their talking points. He has insisted that he refuses to back down no matter what we say. His office explicitly stated that public opinion on net neutrality will not influence him to change his mind. In fact, it'll have no bearing on his vote come December 14th. This is an individual that already decided, and probably decided from the moment he was sworn in, that he is not going to rest until net neutrality is dead. So at this point, this vote is going to be taking place on December 14th, and he just gave us the finger. He told us exactly what we didn't want to hear. Nothing will change his mind. So this is just a really frustrating situation, because it's not like we have any recourse. I mean, of course, we can challenge this in the courts, and we will, and we'll probably win, well, hopefully. But, I mean, it's not like we can threaten to primary him or vote him out of office because he's an unelected bureaucrat. There's nothing that we can do. So it's incredibly disappointing, and it just shows that democracy in this country is dead. You know, along with the repeal of net neutrality, democracy is also dead, because it doesn't matter that we want to keep net neutrality, since internet service providers like Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T decided that they don't want net neutrality. Well, then what they say goes, and what we say means nothing.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.